This is part 2 of a 4-part series on time management for adults called Creating New Habits. I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach parenting and good communication all over the world through the lens of the principle self-government, and self-government relates heavily to time management. So in this video, we're going to be talking about self-government, what that is, and how it relates to creating new habits in our time management. So let's talk about what self-government is. Self-government is being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation and possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. So that means you understand cause and effect and you understand yourself. So this principle helps us a lot with time management. It helps us recognize that we might not be getting what we want and why. Now, maybe you're not taking that analysis to its full level, but let's take a look at this. So let's say as a self-governed person, I make a plan for myself that I want to wake up in the morning every day at 6:30 a.m. Okay, this is my plan. I'm going to wake up at 6:30 a.m. and then I'm going to exercise for an hour, and then I'm going to read my scriptures and do a little personal study. I'm going to get breakfast going for the family, right? I've got the whole list of all the things that I want to do for myself. And then for some reason, I don't wake up. And then the next day I say, yeah, I should get up at 6:30 because that would be a lot better than today. And then I don't get up. This could possibly be because I'm not actually looking at every aspect of that moment of when I wake up, and I'm not properly preparing. I tell myself what I want, but I don't instruct myself to do it. A person who is self-governed makes a plan and instructs themselves to follow through on that plan. And if they don't follow through on that plan, they correct themselves. Now, this doesn't mean that they get negative at themselves and shame themselves or tear themselves down, but they do correct themselves and they point themselves forward again. They prepare their brain for success. So what I would do is I would tell myself something like, self, I need to wake up at 6:30 in the morning. This is going to be a great thing, instead of the other self who was like, oh, 6:30 in the morning. No, I have to, but oh, right? I'm getting an emotional, I don't want to before I even go to bed. That's not good. So I tell myself, I have to wake up at 6:30 in the morning, and this is going to be a good thing. When I wake up at 6:30 in the morning, when that alarm goes off, I'm going to sit straight up, put my feet on the floor, and stand up. And then I will not touch my bed again until my body feels awake. And then I will walk to the bathroom, right? So I am giving myself a plan that will make sure I succeed. This is me creating a habit that will help me with my time management. Because usually we say what we hope will happen and then we don't do it. But it's because we don't instill good habits for ourselves. And a self-governed person tells themselves, this is exactly how I will do it. So if you want to have a habit of daily exercise, and you want to schedule that into your day, then you don't just pick the time of the day, but you do something else. You say, I will not get dressed until I exercise. And even if I'm running short on time, I will exercise for at least 8 minutes. I will do the exercise. So now, if you start your day out well in the morning, the other things are going to usually fall in line, so long as you don't have a crisis or catastrophe, and so long as you are able to tell yourself no when the next time block needs to begin. So this brings in a whole other thing, which is accepting no answers. That's important too. So there are 4 basic skills that I teach in my parenting course that parents teach their children. But these 4 basic skills are for all of us too. So following instruction is one I've already mentioned. To follow instructions, you look at the person or the situation, you keep a calm face, voice, and body, you say, okay, or you disagree appropriately, then you do the task immediately and then check back. So if I'm going to instruct myself, I'm going to look at the situation or the person, which is myself, tell myself exactly what needs to happen and when I will check up on myself. And then I say, okay, and I follow through, and then I check back. And when I check back, if it didn't go right, I'm going to make plans for it to go better the next time. I'm going to correct myself. This is what we do with our children to help teach them self-government as well. So then accepting no answers. I'm going to have to teach myself to accept no answers. When it is time to be done on something, I tell myself, oh, this is a no. I have to stop. To accept a no answer, you look at the person or the situation. You keep a calm face, voice, and body. You say okay or ask to disagree appropriately, and then you drop the subject. So I tell myself, nope, I've got to be done with that. Now I've got to move on to this. And I don't think about it anymore. Now, if I need to make a list of the things that I want to come back to so that I don't think about them anymore, that could be a very smart thing. So I often have an ongoing list. For me, they're on sticky notes. I love sticky notes. I have an unhealthy attachment to sticky notes. And when there's an app on my phone that says sticky note, I'm like, I'm all in. I don't know why I like sticky notes so much, but I think it's because for years with my children, when I had to take care of the needs of the whole family and I needed to correct them about something, I would put it on a sticky note, stick it on the cabinet, and then I would finish something I was doing with another child and then look to see if I had any sticky notes. And if I did, I would go and handle that. So the sticky notes were the indicator that I still had something else I needed to do. So my sticky notes help me stay the course so that I don't fall off the wagon and just become selfish or get lost in a distraction somewhere like a phone or something like that. I use sticky notes. Still to this day, paper sticky notes are all over. They're sticking on my computer and on my desk and different places, on my kitchen cabinets and on my fridge. I've got sticky notes for shopping lists, but I also have sticky notes for things that I need to come back to. And for me, I do not have to come back to them in any particular time. When I'm planning my time blocks, I will put those things in. But when I am not planning time blocks, I do not let those things weigh heavy on me. Because they are on a sticky note, I know they will get done. Now, my husband may look at all my sticky notes and go, are you ever going to get all of these things done? And the answer is yes. He may not believe me because some of the sticky notes stick around for a while, but the sticky notes are proof to me that I will do them. So you need to decide for yourself how you are going to create a habit of starting yourself, stopping yourself, and remembering what you need to come back to. Those are great habits to get into. So if you can learn to follow instructions and accept no answers for yourself and correct yourself, and then develop a system for writing down what you might need to come back to so that you can schedule it or instruct it for another day or another time, you are going to be successful. And while you're at it, you might as well teach your children to follow instructions, accept no answers, accept consequences, disagree appropriately, all of those great self-government skills too. I'm going to talk with you about how a habit is created and using your triggers properly. But before we do that, click the subscribe button now. When you click the subscribe button, it helps the channel to grow because more people see the videos here. And you get to see the new videos that come out too, which I'm sure you'll want to finish the series, as well as see some of the other things related to self-government. Don't forget that notification bell so that you'll get notified when the next episodes of this series come out as well. All right, so let's talk a little bit about habits. Every habit has a trigger, okay? So that is a thought or an action or something that happens that brings about a certain habit. So for me, there are certain clothes that I put on that trigger exercise, okay? There's a certain time of day that triggers the thought, I should eat. All right. So if we are going to talk about time management, we have to understand how habits relate to time management because they do. In fact, people who are really great at managing their time are people who just instinctively, or maybe they've learned already, understand habits and how they work with creating a new habit. So I had to teach myself deliberately how to create new habits. This started years ago when I taught myself how to follow instructions and accept no answers when I was a 14-year-old. Actually, I had a neighbor who challenged me to see if I could do that with my parents to fix my relationship, and it worked. But I also had a bigger habit that I had to control, and that was my habit of telling lies. So when I was young, I started telling lies, and I didn't quit telling them until I was about 14 years old. And this was because friends had caught me telling lies, and I didn't think anyone ever knew that I was a liar and telling lies all of the time. And at that point, I decided to create this trigger for myself. I wanted to just stop talking forever because I felt if I didn't talk, then I wouldn't lie. But I knew that wasn't really realistic, so I needed to come up with something new. So what I came up with was the craving to talk would make me stop and think. Okay, so as soon as I felt that craving inside, like I wanted to talk, then I would stop and think. That was my trigger. And the thought that I would have was, is this the truth? And if the answer was yes, then I would tell the truth. If the answer was no, then I would turn and walk away. So do you see that little mini system I created for myself? That is essentially how you habit train yourself on anything, okay? So when you train yourself to wake up in the morning, then you train yourself as soon as that alarm goes off, you sit up, you put your feet on the floor, and then you stand up. And you don't sit back down on the bed until at least 12 o'clock, right? You give yourself like some sort of a guideline to follow with that instruction and the no answer that are built into that. When you have a thought, or when you have something else coming, maybe you have a meeting that you're supposed to attend that you keep forgetting to attend, then what you do is you tell yourself, all right, I'm going to set a timer in my phone that happens like 15 minutes before the meeting, or maybe it's even an hour before the meeting, or a day before the meeting. There are some meetings you have to plan for. I have an alarm that goes off a whole day before a meeting that I'm going to have every week. And I don't find it annoying either. I am planned now. I am habit trained. I don't forget that meeting that happens every week. I don't forget, but I still allow that alarm to be there just to remind me as it comes across my computer, hey, you've got this meeting. Oh yeah, that's right. I better prepare. Am I prepared for my meeting? Because it is one of those meetings that I have to always prepare for. Sometimes we don't follow through on things because we get caught in the moment, because we don't set ourselves alarms to help us. So alarms are beautiful things. They help us make new habits. When the alarm goes off though, what you have to do is tell yourself you will follow it right then. You will. If you don't, then you'll go back to something else and then soon you'll forget again. And then that always feels bad. So maybe even schedule a backup alarm just in case so that you can really meet that goal to have that time management. One more thing about habit training that's really important, and that is the thought process that you have about each of the habits that you are creating. So you have to decide you want to get up, that you like to get up, that somehow it gives you something. You've got to give yourself a reason why you are going to allow that trigger to work for you. And you've got to be optimistic. Pessimism hurts habits. You will not create productive habits or good habits. You could create non-productive or even bad habits if you have the wrong thought pattern. If you are negative, your habits will end up not being productive either. So just remember, we're going to form habits no matter what. You either have a productive habit or a non-productive habit. Why not create a productive habit? If you feel like you are struggling with your time management right now, it could be because of that negative attitude that we talked about in segment 1. Remember in part 1 how I talked about how do you think about your time? Does it have a negative connotation to you? Well, if so, you might be having that pessimism that will make it very difficult for you to actually develop good time management anyway. You've got to decide you can do it. You see yourself as a person who does manage their time. You've got to tell yourself you are that person and that you will keep pushing forward until you truly are proof of that person to yourself. So we are just getting going. We're halfway through this 4-part series. Be sure to join me for the 3rd part, which is what nobody tells you about time, so that you can understand how to improve your mindset about time.